Okay. So I'm just gonna change to can you get me into preferences?
Can you see any preferences?
Nah, but can you just like use a theme that's a bit more light because it's so dark on my screen. I can't really see anything.
Okay, let's do this. Where do I go into
Look and feel.
Okay. And you want something lighter?
Yeah. Okay, better. Thank you.
Okay.
So put in a sample that you want to use.
Look in here. You can find one in here, right?
Well, like you just want me to do drums or what?
Just do something like you're gonna construct something. Just start from the beginning. What would you do? Your process and just talk. I'm Drenalyn. We're doing this and this and this.
Well, I kind of need a basis to go off of, like some sample, whatever. Wait, let's see. We're at 98. I think that's a bit fast. I don't like to work at 98, so let's do 85 is my sweet spot. Check that this is warped, complex, fine, 98. So this is already warped for us. We don't need to do much. Just have a quick check. Okay. So we see that here the volume of the sample is about, so we should take it down until it's like -6. Oh. Okay, that didn't work. Okay. So then you probably want to make some drums. What do we have? Boom bap kit maybe. Mind you, boom bap is not my strong side, so this is just for illustration purposes.
You can start with the hi-hat, kick maybe. There.
We'll make it into a 4-bar loop here.
So this portion there is the loop clip. So it tells you how long the loop is going to loop for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So start with the snare. Jesus. Okay, that's better. On the 2, on the 4, select from here. Oh.
From one corner to the other on a bar.
Yeah. Except that when I try to click duplicate on your thing,
okay.
So I'm just doing like this, but you just push Command D whenever you do this.
So would you like me to hit it again?
Yeah. Okay, good. Let's just hear how that sounds. hit Command D. Okay. Where's the mouse? There. Okay, so now we're gonna put some spice on the hi-hat, right? So we click on top here to get to the drum rack. And I think the hi-hat that we used is this one, is it? Yeah. So we click on here. Oh. And then we're gonna do MIDI effects, velocity, add some random. So we just drag it on top here on the hi-hat. Okay, so that's basically a good start. That's usually where I start at. What you can do, let me see. If you do like this, then you select both of them. Click, drag it over here. And then you'll have the two clips here. So that my mouse movements are a bit delayed, so trying to.
Okay.
Okay, so then we just click here to activate everything here, right? So this is the sample, this is the drums. We select this one and then hit Command D a bunch of times. Okay, fine. And so we're gonna have a 4-bar intro. So of course the drums that we've made, we need to move them. Or let's do, yeah, hit Command D. No, it's too much, but okay, fine. That's okay, just leave it, fine. So now here is the 5-bar intro with just a sample, no drums. What we can do to be a bit creative, we already have this one here. Let's just remove or hit 0 just to mute the notes, like this. Now we'll have 4 bars with just a sample, 4 bars with just a sample and a hi-hat, and then we get going after bar number 8. Now this basically repeats. What I like to do is that, well, in Boobap maybe you can do it a bit more often, but let me just try and zoom in slightly. Here you can shorten this maybe like this to have a little opening. Then this one goes, and then maybe I have an opening here. Yeah, you get the idea?
Yeah. I see it.
And a little trick that you can see, because our beat starts here, right? And a normal boom bap verse is about 16 bars. See on top up here, it says
Right.
13 now, just keep looking at it. We drag it out, and here we have 16. So at this point here, we will have a chorus. Ooh. So I like to have a little bit of a space between the last part of the verse and the chorus.
Okay.
What you can also do for reference, if you put your cursor here, you can put in set, the button up here. You can flag it. You can double click or rename, right, chorus, for example. Now that you'll remember that your chorus starts here. Chorus and a boom bap should be about 8 bars. So until here, right? And then the verse starts again. I like to put in like a 4-bar thing between the between the verse and the chorus. Let's say set, and then we call it verse 2, for example. Very simple way of doing it, but it's kind of good to have a reference point. So I used to do this in the beginning, at least, right? So,
I like the reference points. That
yeah,
makes sense.
we make one here.
You have to hit the set button in order to rename it.
Yeah, or when you push the set button, it just inserts this point here.
The flagger point.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. And then you're gonna put
intro.
You're gonna add the intro in bar 1.
Intro is okay. It speaks for itself. So verse 1 starts here.
Okay.
Chorus, verse 2. And then this thing here is already 16 bars, right? So if we just move this one over to verse 2, then we know that here gonna be chorus. Oh. What you can also do, because now we have this already made, right? Say we delete all of this part. And let's say you had some bass or some other stuff here, fine. But what we have here is, like to call this, not to confuse it, let's just call this, set one here too and call it like a bridge. Or post-chorus, whatever, let's call it bridge. Because this is just like where it plays just to warm up to the next verse. So this is basically the setup. We have a intro, verse, chorus, and the bridge. So if we select from here, for example, then you hit Command D. There you go. Now the drums are the same on verse 1 and verse 2. You have the chorus and basically the outro at the end of the song, 4 bars. Copy paste. You don't have to do everything like from the beginning every time.
Wow. That is definitely a shortcut.
Yeah. So
Now, you inserted a tuner onto what track now?
the piano. I was just gonna try and figure out which key it's in, but
so a tuner checks to see what key the
what notes, which notes are being played.
Oh, nice.
Let me show you. let's say we just here. Let's make 8 bars. We just mute this original sample that we have just to illustrate how the. And the cool thing here is that you have something called scale. The scale highlighter. So here is a C major. Say we want to do a C minor. Click minor here. And now it's going to highlight the keys that are in C minor. So you'll never play the wrong key. Make sense? Or you can do select, right, that's too much. Hit Command D. And move it up and down. So anyway, this is just playing with the piano. If you want to now see like the screen is a bit too big for these, so you can do like this fold. It'll only show you the notes that you've played. But I basically made this to show you how the tuner works. The tuner works with single notes. So now we have let's say here G and okay, so we have a C, D, G, E flat. If we were to throw a tuner on this one now, because this also works with audio files, which is what I use it for, right? So put on the tuner on here. So we had a C, G, something, something, E flat. Now look at the tuner. Key, E flat. Yeah. So this works with any like sample that's pretty clear. You can see which notes are being played. That's very useful when you want to make bass and stuff. You can use an arpeggiator, for example, as well. Hit Command D. So lots of these tools you can use by just using simple notes as well, if you play around with it enough.
Now is the warp on?
Warp is on for this one, yeah, always.
It's the piano warp.
Yeah, but it already knew that it was in 98. It already said, and here it already says it's in G minor, right? So, you know, the sample gives us all the information already.
So there at the bottom, I'm gonna make sure that loop is always set to 1/1 or 4 bars.
Yeah, 4 or 8, 16, whatever.
So every time I was doing it, it was starting it at like the 3 or the 4.
Yeah. So make sure like you always start it at one of these reference points, like you insert it here or at the 5, you know, always at the start of it, basically. At the, because it's like here, here's, it shows you it's 4 bars. Every of these is 4 bars.
Okay.
Up on top. 1 to 5, 5 to 9. These are all 4 bar intervals. Right, so there's all these tools that you can use to make it sound cooler, and you know.
Now, if you wanted to automate that auto filler to like
Yeah,
warp in there,
yeah,
like how do you set that? I mean, can you do it live while it's playing, or you have to like draw it out?
you can do both.
Okay. How do you do it live?
Want to do it live? Put the filter on. And then make sure that none of these are actually armed. Yeah, just so, but you record, basically you hit record. So basically now it recorded all the movements I made, plus it made it turn off when the beat starts, right? So you can see that there's some automation here by that little red dot. So if we go from the start now, you can just look at the auto filter. Those are the movements I did, right?
Yes, that's what I wanted to see.
You're not happy with the automation, I think, is it? If you go, probably some better place, but here, or is it? You can, if you right click on the other, you can delete the automation.
Okay.
Now it's gone.
So it reads it and it writes it, and then you could delete it if you fuck up.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you wanted to go back and do it again, you just hit the record button.
Yeah.
And start tweaking.
Yeah. Try it. Try it while I'm watching. Hit record. And you just move that yellow dot down there.
Okay. That's pretty dope. I like that.
Okay, so another thing that's pretty useful if I just why isn't the automation showing? Oh, that's weird.
You can click on the little two dots together all above the tracks.
Yeah, I know this one, but why can't I delete the automation now? Maybe
I think you have to show automation and then you can delete.
okay.
Click right, show automation, and then you can delete. No?
No, because now it doesn't show automation here on that dot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
anyway, sometimes stuff happens. That's fine. Let's just remove the auto filter. So Sparks up here, let me just up here. This is basically to show automation. So for example, if you want to do track volume, for example. So now it's set, the dotted line here is where we're at for the track. Minus 5.8 is here. So if you want to do like a fade in, for example, until the drums start, let's just put a dot here on the 5. Put a dot here on the on 1. We can just basically drag it down. That gives you a fade in.
Right. And I think we did this on an episode with Super Ugly from the cooking show.
Yeah.
For everyone that's just tuning in, this is Spark Diesel with Drenalyn and our special guest, Super Ugly.
So that's basically the automation, and any effect or whatever you put on here, you can automate here.
Okay.
Panning, whatever. This is pretty useful. You'll get into that in a while. But what's also interesting here is the send tracks, which we have here. Right now it's on reverb and delay. You can put as many as you want, insert a new return track. And you'll see these represented, that this one here, the first one is the reverb. Second one here is the delay. And the third one is just a blank one that we inserted. So this will send parts of the signal through here before it goes to the master track. So let's just do it with delay because that's kind of obvious to hear probably, which is the number 2 here, the B, this one. So let's just let me just turn off that fade because it's not very practical when we're doing this. Track volume, and then we just double click here. I can't really see. Yeah, there we go. I'm hearing this through my phone, so I'm not sure if it's maybe not a. Yeah, let's do the reverb on the drums. Maybe that's easier to hear.
Yeah, because
Just,
it did add the effect to it.
Okay. Select this, loop it. This is the reverb. Ah, sorry. There we go. So basically this just represents how much of the signal you're gonna run through the delay. Or the reverb, whatever. Instead of slapping a reverb onto that actual track, you can just have a common reverb for all of the instruments or all of it and then send it through the same reverb, so you kind of get some good so the reverb is the same reverb that's being used on all of the tracks basically.
And you can make the adjustments on the mixer page as well, like I like to use.
Yeah,
Those are
and what
here,
is
the
even
sends.
what is even
That's the
awesome
knobs.
is if you have like a preferred reverb and you don't like the Ableton reverb, you can add the plugin to the send track.
So here, if you click on the return track, this is the effect that's being used. See, here's the reverb on the return track. This is this one.
That's the plugin, the Ableton
Yeah.
plugin.
Yeah. Do you have any other reverbs? No, probably.
We
No.
can check. What if you add a native instruments reverb? Does that do anything?
Is there a reverb?
I don't know if I got it. Am I missing?
Yeah, it looks like it. What's an effect? Oh, here's a reverb. Something.
I don't know what that is, but let's take a look at it.
Ah, is it registered? Probably not.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Demo. What's an effect that you like to use?
I don't ever use any of these effects. I was very unsure about the plugins that are available in the Ableton, especially for a guy like me who does not have any or much plugins
Okay.
at a beginner level.
Yeah. Okay, so we have an empty return track here that we made. I don't know this plugin, but let's see, does it have any? drum bus maybe. So, from what I have understood, don't arrest me on this, but with compressor on a return track, you can do what they call parallel compression. No? So you kind of decide how much of the signal, or you send some of the signal into a compressor, but not all of it. So solo it out, the drum track. So now it's not sending anything, but you know that it says it's send number C, right? And we have the same here. Nothing. Then you can increase how much you want to send.
So it looks like we're getting into the red. Does that mean we're clipping?
Yeah, we're clipping. It's because we haven't adjusted the drums. So basically, we go here on the volume of the drums, and then we put it down.
So we're going down.
Oh, it's at -7.
-7 decibels.
And the master is at -4. Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
On the master track, it's good practice to have a utility.
On the master track, you're using a utility plugin. What is the utility and what does it do?
It's called utility. So utility has gain. It has some stereo enhancement stuff, but most importantly, when we use it here, it's got something called bass mono, or mono. You can use both. But bass mono means that for now, everything that's going through them, all the signal that's going to the master track, everything of the bass frequencies is going to be in mono. Now we put an EQ8, for example. Now we do a little low cut at 30, right? When I click here, that's the, wait. Click here, then you have this number 1 here. So we have a low cut, and we do the same up here on the 8. The high cut. So we cut out all the low and nasty frequencies and the high and nasty frequencies on the master. And widen the stereo. Utility I always have on all my tracks as well, basically. So let's say for the, let's say you like all your drums in mono, for example, just drag a utility down, right? And then you push mono. And with this gain button, you can also adjust the volume of the track. It's just another volume fader for your drums.
Right. Yeah.
That's basically the basics of on how to get started, but my takeaway, because I need to leave in a sec, my takeaway is that you need to always make sure that you start your clips here on a whole bar, like on the 9 or the 5 or whatever.
So you could
Otherwise, you're
preset
gonna
and
be off
drag.
time like we were earlier.
Right. I understand. And that would fix my timing issue.
Absolutely.
So if I wanted to make a 4-bar drum, I would have to drag and go to 4 bars, and then that would be my initial startup for a drum pattern.
Let's see here. I'll leave it up to you. Let's see. You have a MIDI track here, the number 1.
Okay.
So now you go over to drums on the far left. Then take boom bap kit, whatever, and just drag it onto that track, whichever you like.
We'll go with the Clint West.
Drag it up to the track number 1.
Oops, I think I already loaded. Let's see. So drag it up to track number 1.
Yeah, just let it go anywhere on the track. Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
So now when you're going to start your track, let's just 1 second. Solo it out like this. Now it's only this one playing. So where would you now insert the first MIDI clip?
So if I wanted to at 9, I'll start at the line at 9.
Yeah.
And I'll go to 13. And this is 1,
4
2,
bars.
3, 4 bars.
Yeah. Right click. Insert empty MIDI clip. Further up. Yeah, there you go. Now you have a 4-bar loop.
Oh. So wait a minute. These two, I forget.
Should be 1 in between usually. There you go.
And then I go from this line.
Yeah.
And Control D.
Yeah. Command D. Yeah.
Command D. All right. Okay.
Add the snare. Exactly. Perfect.
Oops. What did I do? I made a mistake, so I have to undo it. Undo cut. Note. There you go. And don't forget to move this bar here so I can adjust the loop.
Um,
Nice. So I actually made a drum loop by setting my start and end point to
Yeah.
how I want my loop to go.
Yeah.
So you're basically positioning your notes from the 1 to the 4th
Yeah.
in each time signature. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very good. Is there anything else
Now
anybody else wants to share?
solo out. Remove the solo mark for your for the track number 1. Top, yeah, and then disable the other drum track that we had. Yeah, that one, just click on the yellow one there. Okay, now
Beautiful.
what you can now do as well, you can hit if you go down to where like sort of the loop settings are, a bit to the right. It says well, just click anywhere in that piano roll. No, in the gray area, somewhere outside of a note. Yeah, and now you hit the duplicate button to the left.
Duplicate. Right
there. Yeah. Now you've made it into an 8-bar loop. So go up on your track on top there, and now drag that at the edge of the pink
over here.
where the clip is. Yeah, at the edge of it. Yeah, like that. No. Yeah, and then drag it to the 17.
Oh,
now
wow.
It's an 8-bar loop that you've just so you can edit like the next 4 bars within the 8-bar loop, for example. But what I do is I usually make 4 8-bar loops and I duplicate them because then it's easier to edit. So just go back and make it into an 8-bar. There you go. And now duplicate that one. Just click on the pink and then just Command D. No, Command D. Undo. Yeah. Now select the pink part and then Command D. Command D. Don't click anything, just Command D. Don't use your mouse. Click on the top part. Just click once. Yeah, and let go of the mouse.
Oh, I'm sorry. Exactly. I was hitting the wrong button. That's why.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very simple.
You only probably need to be aware about now is that you see that since we actually made the main track with like 4-bar loops, if you see after the chorus where it says bridge, where we made that bridge flag, go down. See now I would just delete that one. Delete that one. Delete it altogether. And then you drag the one that's to the right of it, drag it to where verse 2 starts. No, not like that. Just drag the whole clip. Yeah. Same with the next one. Otherwise it doesn't line up, right?
Oh, I see.
There you go.
All right.
So you have a bass inserted now, yes?
Oops. Yes. That's what I was doing.
There was one more trick to it.
Okay, go ahead. What's next?
So there's a bass on track 1 now. Yeah.
Yes.
So where it says verse 1, where we on the first track, make another 8-bar loop, for example.
Okay, so let's go to verse. We'll go with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's the same length as the drum, so
6, 7, 8. Right, correct. So
right
that's
click.
8 bars. Right. And then insert empty MIDI clip.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the left part, all the way to the left, click scale. Down. Yeah. And then G instead of C. Because we know that the clip is in G minor.
Okay.
And if there it says major, you put minor.
What is the difference between a major and a minor in key scales?
It's different scales, yeah.
So, but it's not pitch or tune. It's a different.
Well, it's different notes within the scale, yeah. 2 different scales.
All right. And what
So
would
now,
you
when you want to play the bass, as long as you stick to those yellow ones, you're not going to be off key. So play the sample and just hit around on the keys that are yellow. Probably need to go down to whatever C1 or something, maybe C0.
How do I scroll down?
Just scroll down with your mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, try G1. No, just like play the sample, just play the whole project with yellow ones on the keys that have a yellow thing on them while the sample is playing.
Okay.
if you just use your mouse and just click on all the keys like that have a yellow thing on them. Yeah, and then just play the sample while you experiment with that, but only stick to the ones that have a yellow label while the loop is playing so you can hear.
But you didn't want me to use my controller?
No, just try and use your mouse, just for reference.
Okay.
And just do that exercise you're doing now while the loop is playing. And there's another trick to it. If you hit scale on top there, hit the where it says scale, it'll only show you the notes within that scale. So much easier. Now you can play. Now you can push any of them, and it's all going to be in scale. So if you play the loop again, and now you can push any of those keys, and it's going to be in scale. Play the sample and just try and click any key and see how that works. So now it's highlighted. All of these are within G minor. Cool, huh?
Yeah.
I can draw in the notes if you want as well. Just you know.
How do I draw in these notes?
Okay. All right. You can remove the scale thing. It was just to illustrate. But even if you record it now with your keyboard, then you can, you know, if you record it and then you see like if it's not within those yellow lines, you can just move it down to the yellow line afterwards, and then you know it's going to be within the scale.
All right.
Makes sense.
Anything else?
I think that's it for the first.
Yeah, for good for the first lesson.
Yes.
All right, so this is let's go ahead and tell them who you are and where you're from.
Drenalyn from the cold city of Oslo.
Word. We want to say thank you for all of our guests and everyone who watched the show. We're gonna be signing out from the Producers Corner, live with Drenalyn and Super Ugly
And Sparks.
and I'm Mr. Sparks and Sparks. Very good. All right.
Thanks for watching our TEDx. Peace.
Peace. All right, I